Okay, in this siege guide, I'm going to show you how to do the upgrading. I will mention that each of these roles that I'm telling you about, basically one person should be doing them. Don't try to do all of them. Obviously, the herald needs to be over on their side doing tornadoes and stuff, and the super farmer needs to sit on the tower. Um, so we already got those two roles done. I'm going to show you how to do the upgrading. I am at the library. So the first buff here decreases the amount of crystals when you're doing upgrades, and the second one decreases the amount of merits. If you're short on one more than the other, then you can do that one first. I kind of keep them even. Probably you want to do the crystal saving one at the beginning if you're doing it closer to the beginning of Siege, because you won't have as many crystals, but you should have tons of merits from the super farmer. Oh, also make sure that you're not on donate. You want to be on collect because you are going to be taking merits from everybody else for a while. So you're going to be sitting at the library doing these upgrades, and you want to make sure to tell people that you are the upgrader, because you do not need two people studying at the library in a single siege. Cool. Somebody just came and dropped off merits, and then they go run off and get more, and they'll shuttle them back. That's more efficient than you trying to scramble around for your own merits. Everybody should just be feeding them to you. So just make sure that they know that you're at the library, because they won't know when your library buffs are done. Because once they're done, you got to move back there to the forge. So you'll see that right now it says each one costs 38 and 35. It's because I'm at 5 and 6 for the buffs. So this goes all the way up to 10. And meanwhile, while this is going on, you need to, people in the guild will need to keep an eye on the clock and make sure that the extractors keep getting battle timed. Because while we have a ton of crystals now, nobody's really sieging, so we haven't been using them. People will start trying to buy stuff that costs crystals. We also have the tower killer going right now, so that's helping us majorly with crystals coming in. Okay, done. 10 buffs. That was both from the library. Okay, then I'm going to go back here to our upgrading buildings. And the very first upgrades you want to start with is at the forge. It's the second one, defense. You want to do that first because it helps everybody in Siege, not just physical or magical. Everybody could always use more defense. So this will give a buff on everybody that enters Siege or is in Siege on your team. So this is increased resistance to damage from other players, and it's percent. So at 3, we are already at 15% less damage received, which is pretty huge. This is why we got our forge to 10. So this goes all the way up to 10. I just got a whole bunch more merits dropped off on me. I'm not going to show you all of the upgrades getting done because nobody wants to sit through that many cast bars. But basically, when you do get your upgrades done, you want to tell people like, "Hey, I'm done with upgrades. Stop giving me merits. Release on crystals or whatever. Go trap." Okay, so that was the defense. Oh, if you ever can't talk to a building, like if it's like no, you kind of like run away from it a little bit and then come back to it. It's kind of annoying, but it works. Okay, so the first one at the forge is for physical people. That's refined steel. Physical attack power by 5%. And the first one at the lumber yard is the same thing for magical DPS. So you basically got to figure out which one of those you're going to do first. You could go back and forth between them and keep them even, or like I have enough to just knock out all of them, so I could be like, well, it's faster if I just sit on one and just keep hitting the same one over and over again, and then move over to the other one. Or some sieges you'll look at who's in siege and be like, everybody is a mage, so let's do the mage ones first. Okay, so that's what those three buffs are. There's also other ones. Like the second one here, this is increases resistant to NPC damage. So when you're attacking towers, you would take less damage from the guard. We do not usually get this one. So usually we get the two from the forge, the lumber yard top one, and then the field has grass of corrosion is the second one. That one is if we're going to get in their castle. It really helps us kill their buildings down. And it's good to kill buildings down because then they can't do all of this stuff that I'm showing you. Also, like the stables, like they won't get their stable passive buffs. That 50% speed, that's huge if people don't have that. And now it's not talking to me. I gotta run away again. The first one out there was Miracle Flower. That increases healing. So if you don't have healers in Siege, it's not important. Basically, after you get the two forge ones done and the top one at the lumberyard, you as a guild should decide if you're going to keep getting more of these buffs or be done. A lot of sieges, you'll just be done or maybe get the Grass of Corrosion and then be done. And then you can just make sure to tell people you're done with upgrades. And that is what the upgrader does. Again, only one person should do this, preferably not somebody that's doing other things, if possible. Sometimes there are sieges where somebody will have to do two roles, but then it's not as efficient as if we have a dedicated person for each role.